So we're going to look at relative formula mass. Now the first thing to start off is looking at relative atomic mass. This is the mass of one atom. Okay? So we're going to just look at the atom calcium. Now you notice it's got two numbers. Okay? So the first number on the bottom is the atomic number. Okay? So that's not the one we're interested when we're talking about formula mass. The number we're interested is at the top number, because the top number is the relative atomic mass. Okay, so that's the mass of that atom of calcium. Now, if we're talking about a formula mass, we're talking about a compound. For example, let's talk about the compound calcium oxide. Now, we know the relative atomic mass of calcium is 40. And we know the relative atomic mass of oxygen is 16. So we're using those top numbers. Now what we can tell about this whole compound is that there's one atom of calcium and one atom of oxygen. So to work out the formula mass of the whole thing, all I'm going to do is do 40, because that's the mass of the calcium, add 16, because that's the mass of the oxygen, to make 56. So the total formula mass of all of this calcium oxide is 56. I'm going to give you another example that's a bit harder this time. So this time we're going to look at calcium chloride. Okay? I'll pause your video now and try it yourself, and then we'll go through the answer. Now, first things to look for are the relative atomic masses. So, again, the relative atomic mass of calcium is 40. The relative atomic mass of chlorine is 35.5. So, the formula mass of the entire thing, well, I've got one calcium, that makes 40, add 35.5. And the difference here is I've got two chlorines, therefore I need to do that because I've got two lots of the 35.5. So my calculation would be this: 40 add 71, which equals 111. So that is my relative formula mass of this whole compound. Now, I'm going to give you a few more examples for you to try and calculate yourself. So pause it when I've done them and you can give yourself a chance at doing it. So let's try calcium carbonate. Now the relative atomic mass of calcium is 40. The relative atomic mass of carbon is 12 and the atomic mass of oxygen is 16. So you can have a go at that. And you can try sulfuric acid as well. The relative atomic mass of hydrogen is 1. The relative atomic mass of sulfur is 32. And oxygen again is 16. Pause your device now to give it a go. So I've got a 40, add, 12, add, 16, but I've got 3 lots of the 16. So that's my calculation. So if I add all those together, I've got 40, add 12, add 48 equals 100. And if I try this one, well, I've got 1, but I've got 2 lots of the hydrogen. I've got a 32 from the sulfur, and I've got 4 lots of oxygen to make that. So if I add all those together, I have got 2 add 32 add 64, which equals 98. There's just some examples. If you want some more, I'm sure you can find some more online. Well done, good stuff.